Adam, every one of us has a reputation. You got a reputation. I got a reputation. Tyler's got a reputation. David's got a reputation. George's got a reputation. President Obama's got a reputation. Trump's got a reputation. Biden's got a reputation. There's not a single person in the world that doesn't have a reputation. Now, here's the thing. You know, you'll hear a lot of people say, well, John Maxwell once said, reputation is what, John Wooden once said, reputation is what other people think about you, but character is who you really are, right? All this stuff to make ourselves feel better. But then the reality of it is, if a bank doesn't want to lend you $60,000 to buy a car, it's not because your character is bad. They don't care about your character. Your credit score sucks.
Right.
If the bank doesn't want to lend you $1 million to buy a house and your credit score is 650, they don't care about your ethnicity. They don't care about your last name. They don't care. All they care about is your reputation. Based on your credit is what? You don't pay things on time, right? If there's anything you want to be thinking about going into a new year, like I remember it's me, Tom, and Mario, and we're at Dallas. And I'm speaking at some insurance event, okay? Cody, good guy. He's putting an insurance event together. First time I ever met David Harris Jr. was there. He sent me a message, said, I'd love to hook up with you. I said, come on down. We spent a good 45 minutes together.
Right?
In Dallas, yes. You remember this whole story when I'm over there. When we're at the country club, 8% Nation, yes. Shout out. By the way, great event they put together. So when we're at this country club, me, Tom, and Mario are preparing our notes. And I said, what reputation did you have when you were a kid? Okay. So, and that bothered you, that stayed with you. So Tom tells me his, okay? Mario tells me his. And I said, let me give you mine. Mine was two things. My dad would say, Patrick's lazy. And number two was they would compare me to an uncle of mine. Guy's name was Johnny. Love this guy. 6'5", good looking. He was a physicist. He was a guy that would smoke the pipe. Not pipe like crack pipe, pipe like pipe. You know what I'm talking about?
a little too much, though. I don't know.
And he would smoke the pipe and he would read these physics books. I mean, who the hell does this? That was this guy.
Like a classic,
he had guns.
Man,
he liked good music. He liked good Italian music. But he had one reputation. Guess what the reputation was? He would only do 70% of whatever project he had. He'd never complete it.
He'd never finish.
He would never finish it. So it was always a reputation of, he'll start things, he'll never in his life will ever finish anything. That was his reputation. So because I was tall like him, because I was a math guy like him, I would always get compared to him, and that was my reputation. Patrick's Johnny, they're the same thing. They're probably going to.
This is what your dad would say?
This is what my dad would say. And you have to understand, as a kid, I'm 8 years old, 10 years old, I know this is a guy that doesn't keep his word and finish the project, but is brilliant. I don't want to have that reputation. So I go to the military, come back, in the military, work my ass off. In my teens, I make money. I always make my money. I didn't have allowance, any of that. I didn't come from a family of allowance. I've always made my money. Anyways, I get out of the military. I got the work ethic now. So at 25, 26 years old, I'm sitting there and I'm asking myself, so listen, New Year's is coming up. What do you want your reputation to be? What do you want your reputation to be? Okay, your reputation is you like to party. Your reputation is you go to Vegas every other weekend. Your reputation is you're bodybuilding. Your reputation is you never want to have a family. Your reputation is you don't want the responsibility of kids, any of that stuff. Everybody knew. Pat's not, I don't want to have any family. I don't want to do none of that stuff, right? One day I sit down and I said, if I have a reputation, I want my reputation to be, if Pat says something's going to happen, it's done. You can bank it. You can book it. That's the reputation. You bring up the conversation about people that always, you know, they say, well, it's this, it's not me, it's my big bone, it's this, it's that. Anybody that's listening to this, you currently have a reputation amongst your friends and families, whether you like it or not. You have it at your work environment. Right. Everybody thinks of you in a certain way. If you want things to change, you got to kind of change some of the ways you're living for your reputation to change. By the way, some people say things like, I really don't give a shit about my reputation. Now watch this. Let's play this game. Reputation. When you think about Trump, what do you think about? David, what's Trump's reputation? What's Tyler's reputation? What's Trump's reputation? Tyler, David, what would you say? When you think about Trump, what would you say is his reputation?
Bombastic.
What else?
Egomaniac.
Does anybody debate those two?
No.
No. What else? Arrogant. What else?
Disruption.
Division. What else?
Some people say he loves his country, for sure.
Okay, what else?
Some people on the other
side. Would you say he's a womanizer?
100%.
Is that debated?
No.
Businessman.
Businessman? Okay, would you say real estate mogul?
Of course.
That's his reputation. Now watch this. What's Obama's reputation? Go through Obama's good, bad, ugly. What's his reputation?
You know, community leader, smooth talker, no drama Obama.
Okay.
Communist. Okay. I'm going different sides.
What else?
Good family man.
Good family man.
Right.
What else?
Face of the Democratic Party for sure.
Great. Now let's go to the next one. Tell me, Hillary
got a nice lefty jump shot.
She does have a lefty jump shot, actually. How about Hillary Clinton's reputation?
A bitch.
Would anybody debate that, by the way?
I think most people would say that she's not that very likable.
On both sides, by the way.
Yeah.
That's her reputation.
Yes.
Okay.
Smart, brilliant.
Nobody would debate
policies,
that. Nobody would debate
not
that.
Not that likable, robotic.
Connoisseur of pantsuits.
Okay.
Los pantalones.
Okay. Now let's continue. Give me the reputation of Tom Brady. What's Tom Brady's reputation?
Winner, chicken dinner, stud,
Champion,
married to a
athlete.
supermodel, just gets fine
model,
wine,
hero.
better with age.
Who?
Like a hero.
Like a hero? What's Jordan's reputation?
The GOAT.
The GOAT?
The GOAT.
Okay, what's Kobe's reputation?
Man, like mini GOAT.
Mini GOAT? Okay. Now let's go to, give me a complete different person. Let's go into Hollywood. What's Tom Cruise's reputation?
Scientologist.
Okay, Scientologist.
Yeah.
What else? But what's his reputation?
I mean, awesome blockbuster movie guy.
What else?
You know, short.
What else?
Good looking.
What else?
He's kind of a badass. He does.
He's kind of a badass. He does his own stunts. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, he does his own stunts. OCD.
Yeah.
Gets
Extremely
angry.
detailed. Temper on the set.
Remember he freaked, oh, shut this thing down.
That's right. But watch how you're noticing.
Everybody, exactly.
So Bill O'Reilly. Give me Bill O'Reilly's reputation.
I mean, that one.
Let's do it live.
Yeah, let's fucking go live. That was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's still his reputation now.
What else? What else would you say is O'Reilly's reputation?
I mean, I would say, you know, outspoken.
Okay. Jussie Smollett, what's his reputation?
That's
what's his reputation?
Not so good.
He's a hard worker and a truth teller.
Hard worker and a truth teller.
Just a
What
total
would you say his reputation?
shamockery.
Shamockery.
Yes.
Divisive. Willing to do anything to get a
Liar.
raise. Liar.
Selfish.
Selfish. Okay, fine. What's Joe Rogan's reputation?
Yeah, I mean the face of new media, podcast,
Outspoken.
Entertainment.
right? Entertaining
Entertainment.
everywhere. Podcast, UFC.
How about
Fear
asking
Factor.
what people are thinking?
Yes.
How about asking what people are thinking?
Says what's on your mind.
Says
that
what's on
that
your
people-
mind.
The
Of course.
everyman.
The what?
The everyman.
The everyman. How about
Yeah.
the guy that said, why shouldn't we legalize marijuana? Okay. How about a guy that's the king of podcasts, right? That's his reputation.
You're getting to the point that no matter whether you like it or not, you've got a rep.
And if you don't like it, you got to change.
You got to change it.
And if you don't like your reputation and it bothers you, well, then do something about it.
Right.
Because you can't go to people and say, that's not the truth. That's not the truth. You have to understand. When I hire somebody new, recently I had a guy that came on board. I brought him on board. And when I brought him on board, all of a sudden I got all these messages from his former colleagues and people that did business with him and his girl. So it's like, hey, you know, about just so you know, I just want to know, this is the reputation with this person here, blah, 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 da, 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 da. I'm like, oh, whatever. And then one person, second person, third person, here's what you got to know, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, listen, I got it. I've been around business for a while. I'll make the decision for myself. You know what eventually happened? What everybody said is what happened.
Right.
We all have a reputation.
Your reputation precedes you.
Yes,
right?
so you can try to convince the world to say, no, but that's not me. Listen, that's your rep.
Yeah.
Okay? I remember I asked Sonata that worked with Trump. Okay,
Yeah.
she used to be a VP of Ops. You remember
of
this? Sonata's
course.
one of the biggest realtors here in Boca, right? You see her face everywhere. She's always on the real deal. She's always representing.
Pretty blonde lady.
Pretty blonde lady, but more importantly, brilliant, smart, incredible husband, Marcus. Love these guys. Great people, right? I said, so what was it like working with Trump? I always want to know what Trump was like to work with. He says, this guy would show up at 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, and would walk around saying, are you making calls? Are you working? What are you doing? And she's like, dude, that's just a little overbearing. Guess what? If somebody ever said Trump drove his people hard, would you believe it?
100%.
100%. That's his reputation. Do you think that bothers him?
Not at all.
Not
I don't think
at all.
anything bothers him.
But what
like
I'm trying to tell you is that's the rep he built and he won. So, Adam, what's your reputation? Let's go through your reputation. What's your rep?
Well, as you're saying this, I had a conversation with a friend who I hadn't seen in a while. And he basically was like, dude, I really love what you're doing, the whole save that money stuff, be smart with your money. And he starts telling Adrian, my other, he goes, do you understand that this guy was the brokest, just like penny pinching friend we had in high school? And to your point, you either can just embrace that reputation.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't care if you think, or do something about
That's right.
it. And that's what I decided to do, is change my rep. I was like, the fact that I'm 10 years later, you know, the money guy, save that money, be smart with your money, invest, was so far from who I was as a teenager, it wasn't even funny. So, you know, everyone has the opportunity to change who they are. Nothing is
There's no
permanent.
question about that.
Yeah, and you know, I'm getting goosebumps, by the way, because I'm going to circle back to what was your uncle who didn't finish when he started?
Yeah.
Because as you were telling this story, and I asked if that was your dad, you know, your dad pulled me aside at the holiday party we had at your house. Do you remember I was talking with I was talking to your dad for an hour.
Yeah.
He pulled me into his room.
Why did you interrupt me? Me and your dad were talking.
I love that guy. Because a lot of the qualities he has, were qualities my dad didn't have. Whatever. He's just a very wise man. You could tell. And he pulled me into his room, his bedroom, and he showed me all the quilts that he had sewed. You know what I'm talking about?
Of course.
The covers.
Of course.
And there was a COVID one, a New York City one, and a Texas one. Like he did like 10 of them, right? And I go, why are you showing me this? And he goes, this is the lesson. And Dylan and Tico were there, and he goes, you have to finish what you started. You have to finish what you started. And so that's why I asked if this is what he told, what your reputation was about your uncle. Did it 70%? And Dylan goes, how long did that take? Right? I love that kid. And he goes, it doesn't matter. I started it. I finished it. It doesn't matter how long it took. The fact is that I did it. He's sewing the size of a bed, and he's peeling them off one by one.
Self-taught, by the way.
Yeah, that's incredible. And he showed me what he did with the chess piece and the chairs.
We should have him on the podcast. We should have him on the podcast.
He'd be amazing. Yeah. But he was like, and he says, time is a thief. Time is a thief. I'll never forget this conversation. And he said, basically about procrastination. I go, what's the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people? And he goes, oh, I have an answer for you. He goes, the unsuccessful people will say, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. The success, he said, no, you do it now. You do it now. We were at a Christmas party. I'm alone with your dad for an hour, learning, embracing, hearing what he's got going on. So it's not a shock to me that the stories that you tell about your family and the lessons and how you changed your reputation probably came from your dad, I would assume.
Yeah. Oh, there's no question about it. Yeah. But again, going back to it, I did not want that to be my reputation. I'm completely okay with certain things being my reputation. Patrick's a driver. He's going to drive you this. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. No one's ever going to say, you're going to outwork Pat. It's just not going to happen. So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.